We're going to talk about our favorite books from the PBS Great American Reads list. The PBS Great American Read is a series that is an 8-part series. It's in a documentary style, and it has a list of 100 books to go along with it. A lot of people have been talking about the PBS Great American Read series, and a lot of book lovers have their own views on which is the best.
My choice for the Great American Read would have to be the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling.
My choice is Dune by Frank Herbert.
The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde by Gino Diaz.
Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, which you can tell I'm highly enthused for because I came in Outlander garb.
My favorite book from the PBS Great American Read list is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. He was known as the father of magical realism, and it has all that wonderful stuff in it. So the ordinary is made extraordinary, and the extraordinary is made ordinary. It's a wonderful family saga, so it follows the Buendia family for 100 years of their lives. It's very nostalgic. The writing is really lush and lyrical, and overall just a beautiful book.
What I love about this book is it talks about immigration, about your place in society. It centers around the character Oscar de Leon, who immigrated from the Dominican Republic. I am a first-generation American, and this is very pertinent to my life as I'm a first-generation American and my parents came from Mexico. It was very interesting to hear a story that was so similar to mine, talking about families and problems and just traumas that can transfer from decades ago to the present day.
My children are 11 and 8 and just now getting fully immersed in the world that I've loved for over 20 years. It's a new classic series that we can share. I love how the kids in the Harry Potter series are growing up with my children.
This was one of the first science fiction books I ever read, and I'll always remember the giant sandworms and the still suits that the characters had to wear to recycle water. The main character, Paul, is introduced to us at 15 years old, and he's very self-possessed for a 15-year-old. We know right away from the start that he is the one.
The fact that you get to time travel not only to 1945, right after the World War II era that Claire is in, you also go to 1743, which is pre-Jacobite Scotland, before the Bonnie Prince Charlie attempt to take over the throne of England took place. The setting is the Scottish Highlands, which in my family is a sacrosanct grounds. My grandmother is Scottish and very highly proud of it, so part of the reason I'm doing this is for my gram.
It's just really funny, heartbreaking. You can completely relate to the character as they are just a weird, nerdy, overweight person, so this guy right here. It reads very similar to something from Tommy Orange's There There. So if you're a fan of There There and would like to read something similar, The Brief Wondrous Life of Oscar Wilde is your pick.
Dune is a character-driven story with great world building. It's also full of action and intrigue. Dune has a great sense of place. Early on, the characters go to Dune, this desert planet, and everything is about conserving water and living with sand and in the desert.
I'm a Ravenclaw. My son is a Ravenclaw. My daughter, however, is a Gryffindor, but I still love her.
Dune won the Hugo and the Nebula Awards, and it is also the April 2019 pick for the Lisle Library Science Fiction and Fantasy Book Group.
Harry Potter is full of surprising characters, some of which will, as the series progresses, really throw you for a loop.
Character-wise, I don't think that it's particularly for women readers, there's a stronger, more interesting character than Claire Randall. The fact that she's able to go to 1743 and use her experience as a former combat nurse to help her survive the situation and thrive in it, she's an amazing character.
Check out the list of the 100 books from the PBS Great American Read series, and you will most likely find them in the library. There are teen books, there are fiction books, there's all sorts of things for every type of reader.